Heads.
There's an art to the building up of suspense.
Heads.
Though it can be done by luck alone. If that's the word I'm after.
76 love.
A weaker man might be moved to re-examine his faith, if in nothing else, at least in the law of probability. The law of averages, if I've got this right, means that if 6 monkeys were thrown up in the air for long enough, they would land on their tails about as often as they would land on
heads.
It must be the law of diminishing returns. I feel the spell about to be broken. Well, it was an even chance, if my calculations are correct.
85 in a row, beating the record.
Don't be absurd.
Easily.
Is that it then? Is that all?
What?
A new record? Is that as far as you are prepared to go?
Well...
No questions? Not even a pause?
You spun them
Not
yourself.
a flicker of doubt?
Well, I won, didn't I?
And if you'd lost? If they'd come down against you 85 times, one after another, just like that?
85 in a row? Tails?
Yes! What would you think?
Well, I'd have a good look at your coins for a start.
I'm relieved. At least we can still count on self-interest as a predictable factor. I suppose it's the last to go. We have been spinning coins together since... This is not the first time we have spun coins!
Oh no, we've been spinning coins for as long as I can remember.
How long is that?
I forget. Mind you, 85 times.
Yes?
It'll take some beating, I imagine. Heads. 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 I'm afraid it isn't your day.
I'm afraid it is.
$89.
What's the first thing you remember?
Let's see. The first thing that comes into my head, you mean?
No. The first thing you remember.
Ah. No. It's gone. It's no good. It was a long time ago.
You don't get my meaning. What is the first thing after all the things you've forgotten?
Ah, I see. I've forgotten the question.
There was a messenger. That's right. We were sent for.
We were sent for.
Yes.
That's why we're here. Traveling.
Yes.
It was urgent. A matter of extreme urgency. A royal summons, his very words. Official business and no questions asked. Lights in the stable yard. Saddle up and off headlong and hot foot across the land. Our guides outstripped in breakneck pursuit of our duty. Fearful lest we come too late.
Too late for what?
How do I know? We haven't gotten there yet.
Then what are we doing here, I ask myself.
You might well ask.
We better get on.
You might well think.
You better get on.
Right! On where?
Forward.
Ah! Which way did we...
Practically starting from scratch. An awakening. A man standing on his saddle to bang on the shutters. Our names shouted in a certain dawn. A message. A summons. We've not been picked out. Simply to be abandoned. Set loose to find our own way. We are entitled to some direction. I would have thought.
I say...
Yes?
I can hear... I thought I heard music.
Yes?
Like a band. It sounded like a band. Here they come!
Halt! An audience! Don't move. Perfect. A lucky thing we came along.
For us?
Let us hope so, but to meet two gentlemen on the road, we would not hope to meet them off it.
Tumblers, are you?
We can give you a tumble, if that's your taste, and times being what they are. Tragedians, at your command.
My name is Guildenstern, and this is Rosencrantz. I'm sorry. His name is Guildenstern, and I'm Rosencrantz.
A pleasure.
What is your line?
Tragedy, sir. Deaths and disclosures, denouement both unexpected and inexorable, transvestite melodrama on all levels, including the suggestive. We can transport you into a world of intrigue and illusion. Clowns, if you like, murderers. We can do you ghosts and battles on the skirmish level. Heroes, villains, tormented lovers, set pieces in the poetic vein. We can do rapiers or rape or both. By all means, faithless wives and ravished virgins. My grande delicto. At a price. But that all comes under realism, for which there are special terms. Getting warm.
Well, I don't know.
It costs a little watch and a little more if you happen to get caught up in the action. If that's your taste, and times being what they are.
What are they?
Indifferent.
Rad?
Wicked. Now what precisely is your pleasure? Gentlemen, disport yourselves. There. Say anything you like.
What do they do?
Let your imagination run riot. They're beyond surprise.
And how much?
So take part.
To watch.
Watch what?
A private performance.
Oh, right.
What's the difference?
10 guilders.
10 guilders!
I mean 8.
Together?
Each. I don't think you understand.
What are you saying?
What am I saying? 7.
Where have you been?
Roundabout. A nest of children carries the custom of the town. Juvenile companies, they are the fashion. But they cannot match our repertoire. We'll stoop to anything, if that's your bent.
They'll grow up.
There's one born every minute. Onward!
Where are you going?
Home! We're traveling people. We take our chances where we find them.
It was chance then?
Chance.
You found us.
Oh, yes.
You were looking?
Oh, no.
Chance then.
Or fate.
Yours or ours?
It could hardly be one without the other.
Fate then.
Oh, yes. We have no control.
You said something about getting caught up in the action?
I did. You're quicker than your friend. Now, for a handful of guilders, I happen to have a private and uncut performance of the rape of the Sabine women. Or rather, woman. Or rather, Alfred. Get your skirt on, Alfred. And for a handful of guilders, and for 8, you can participate, taking either part, or both for 10, with encores. Get your skirt off, Alfred.
It could have been. It didn't have to be obscene.
You should have caught us in better times. We were purists then. Onward!
Excuse me?
Oops!
So you're not, exclusively players then?
We're inclusive players, sir.
So you give exhibitions?
Performances, sir.
Yes, of course. There's more money in that, is there?
There's more trade, sir.
Times being what they are.
Yes,
Indifferent.
completely.
What exactly do you do?
We keep to our usual stuff, more or less, only inside out. We do on stage the stuff that's supposed to happen off, which is a kind of integrity if you look on every exit being an entrance somewhere else.
And what will you do for that?
Do you like a bet?
What kind of bet did you have in mind?
Double or quits?
Well, pets.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yeah!
Again. Heads. Again.
Pets.
Woohoo! Yes.
Heads.
Tails.
Bet me the year of my birth doubles is an odd number.
Your birth?
If you don't trust me, don't bet with me.
Would you trust me?
Bet me then.
My birth?
Odd numbers, you win.
You're on! We have no money.
Ah, then what have you got?
Oh. It's the best we've got.
Then the times are bad indeed. Come here, Alfred. Do you lose often? What could you have left to lose? Do you like being an actor?
No.
Come, Alfred. This is no way to fill the theaters of Europe. Do you know any good plays?
Plays? Plays?
Exhibitions.
I thought you said you were actors.
Oh, well, we are. But there hasn't been much call.
You lost! Well then, one of the Greeks perhaps? You're familiar with the tragedies of antiquity, are you? Your kind of thing, is it?
Well, no, I can't say it is, really. We're more of the blood, love, and rhetoric school.
Well, I'll leave the choice to you if there is anything to choose between them.
They're hardly divisible, sir. Well, I can do you blood and love without the rhetoric, or I can do you blood and rhetoric without the love. I can do you all three, concurrent or consecutive. But I can't do you love and rhetoric without the blood. Blood is compulsory. They're all blood, you see.
Is that what people want?
It's what we do. Oh, entrances. There and there.
Aren't you going to change into your costume?
I never change out of it, sir.
Always in character.
That's it.
Aren't you going to come on?
I am on.
But if you are on, you can't come on, can you?
I start on.
But it hasn't started. Go on, we'll look out for you.
I'll give you a wave.
Excuse me. Thank you. I say that was lucky.
What?
It was tails.
Come on!
What?
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, though we did much long to see you, the need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation, so call it, sith north the exterior nor the inward man resembles that it was. I entreat you both to draw him unto pleasures, and to gather so much from occasion as you may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicting thus that open lives with them a remedy.
Good gentlemen, he hath talked much of you, and sure I am 2 men there is not living to whom he more adheres. If it will please you to show us so much gentleness and goodwill, your visitation shall receive such thanks as with the king's remembrance.
Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our service freely at your feet, to be commanded.
Thank you, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz, and I beseech you instantly to visit my much-to-changed son.
Heaven make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him.
The ambassadors from Norway, my good lord, are joyfully returning.
Thou still hast been the father of good news.
Have I, my lord? Assure you, my good liege, I hold my duties, I hold my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king. And I do think, or else this brain of mine hunts not the trial of policy so sure as it hath used to do, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's innocence.
I want to go home.
We'll soon be
It's all
home
over
and
my
high,
depth and
dry
out of
and
my head, it's over my step, over my head, body. I tell you, it's all stopping to a death. It's floating to a depth. It's stopping to a head. It's all heading to a death. Stop!
And there! And we'll soon be home and dry and high and dry. Has it ever happened to you that all of a sudden, and for no reason at all, you haven't the faintest idea how to spell the word wife, a house, because when you write it down, you just can't remember ever having seen those letters in an order before?
I remember when there were no questions.
There were always questions. To exchange one set for another is no great matter.
I want to go home.
The only beginning is birth,
Which way did we come in?
and the only end is death.
I've lost my
If you
sense of
can't
direction.
count on that, what can you count on?
I can't remember. What have we got to go on?
We've been briefed. Hamlet's transformation. What do you recollect?
Well, he's changed, hasn't he? The exterior and inward man fails to resemble
Draw him on to pleasures. Glean what afflicts him.
something more than his father's death.
He's always talking about us. There are 2 people living whom he dotes on more than us.
We cheer him up, find out what's the matter.
Exactly. It's a matter of asking the right questions and giving away as little as we can. It's a game.
And then we can go.
And receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Shouldn't we be doing something constructive?
What did you have in mind? A short, blunt human pyramid?
We could go.
Where?
After after him.
Why? They've got us placed now. If we start moving around, we'll all be chasing each other all night.
How very intriguing. I feel like a spectator. An appalling business. The only thing that makes it bearable is the irrational belief that somebody interesting is going to come on in a minute.
See anyone?
No. You?
No. We've had no practice.
We could play questions.
What good was that do?
Practice.
Statement, one love.
Are you counting that?
What?
Are you counting that?
Foul, no repetitions, two love.
What's the matter with you today?
What?
What?
Are you deaf?
Am I deaf?
Yes or no?
Is there a choice?
Is there a God?
Foul. No non sequiturs. 1, 2.
What's your name?
What's yours?
What's your name when you're at home?
What home?
Is it different at home?
Haven't you got one?
Why do you ask?
What are you driving at?
What's your name?
Repetition. To all.
Who do you think you are? Rosencrantz.
What?
There, how was that?
Clever.
Natural?
Instinctive.
Got it in your head?
I take my hat off to you.
Shake hands.
Now I'll try you.
Not yet. Catch me unawares.
Right. Ready?
Don't be stupid!
Sorry.
Guildenstern!
What?
Consistency is all I ask!
Who was that?
I hardly knew him. He's changed.
You could see that?
Transformed.
How do you know?
He's not himself.
He's changed.
I could see that.
If you, sir, would be as old as I, if like a crab you could go backward.
Though this be madness, yet there is method in it. Will you walk up the air, my lord?
Into my grave.
Indeed, that's out of the air. My lord, I will take my leave of you.
You could not take anything that I more willingly part with all, except my life, except my life, except my life.
Very well, my lord.
My honored lord!
Most dear lord.
My excellent good friends, how dost thou, Guildenstern? Rosencrantz. Good lads, how do you both?
There are the players.
Good lads, you are welcome to Elsinore, but my uncle, father, and aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my dear lord?
I am but mad north-northwest, and when the wind is suddenly, I know a hawk from a hen song.
Fire!
Where?
It's all right. I'm just demonstrating the misuse of free speech to prove that it exists. Not a moo. They should all burn to death in their shoes.
Come, sirs.
Follow him. We'll hear a play tomorrow night. Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play the Murder of Gonzago? Aye, my lord. And you could, for a need, study a speech of some dozen or 16 lines in which I would set down and insert it, could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. Follow that lord, and look you mock him not.
So you've caught up.
You left us.
I'd forgotten. You performed a dramatic spectacle on the way. Yes, I'm sorry we had to miss it.
You don't understand the humiliation of it! To be tricked out of the single assumption which makes our existence viable, that someone is watching. Don't you see? We're actors. We're the opposite of people. We were caught high and dry. It was not until the murderer's long soliloquy that we were able to look around. Our eyes searched you out. First confidently, then hesitantly, then desperately. No one came forward. The silence was unbreakable. It imposed itself upon us. It was obscene. We took off our crowns and swords and cloth of gold and moved silent on the road to Elsinore.
Brilliantly recreated. If these eyes could weep. Rather strong on metaphor, mind you. No criticism, only a matter of taste. And so here you are with a vengeance. Well, let's say we've made up for it, but you may have no doubt whom to thank for your performance at the court.
We already have an entry here, and always have had.
You've played for him before?
Yes, sir.
Where are you going?
I can come and go as I please.
You're evidently a man who knows his way around.
I've been here before.
We're still finding our feet.
I should concentrate on not losing your heads.
Do you speak from knowledge?
Precedence.
You've been here before.
And I know which way the wind is blowing.
The truth is, we value your company, for want of any other. We have been left so much to our own devices. After a while, one welcomes the uncertainty of being left to other people's.
Uncertainty is the normal state. You're nobody special.
But for God's sake, what are we supposed to do?
Relax. Respond. That's what people do. You can't go through life questioning your situation at every turn.
But we don't know what's going on or what to do with ourselves. We only know what we're told, and that's little enough, and for all we know, it isn't even true.
For all anyone knows, nothing is. Everything has to be taken on trust. It's the currency of living. There may be nothing behind it, but it doesn't matter, so long as it is honored. I have lines to learn.
Next!
What did you expect?
Something? Someone? Nothing? Do you ever think of yourself as actually dead? Lying in a box with a lid on it?
No.
Nor do I, really. It's silly to be depressed by it. I mean, one thinks of it like being alive in a box. One keeps forgetting to take into account the fact that one is dead, which would make all the difference, shouldn't it? I mean, you'd never know you were in a box, would you? It would be like being asleep in a box. Not that I'd like to sleep in a box, mind you, not without any air. You'd wake up dead for a start, and then where would you be? Apart from inside a box. That's the bit I don't like, frankly. That's why I don't think of it. Because you'd be helpless, wouldn't you? Stuffed in a box like that? I mean, you'd be in there forever. Even taking into account the fact that you're dead, it isn't a pleasant thought. Especially if you're dead. I mean, really ask yourself, if I asked you straight off, I'm going to stuff you in a box now, would you rather be alive or dead? Naturally, you'd prefer to be alive. Life in a box is better than no life at all, I expect. You'd have a chance, at least. You could lie there thinking, well, at least I'm not dead. In a minute, someone's gonna bang on the lid and tell me to come out. Hey, you! What's your name? Come out of there!
You don't have to flog it to death.
If in all thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good, my lord. How does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well, well, well.
It's like living in a public park.
Very impressive. If I might make a suggestion, shut up and sit down. Stop being perverse.
I'm not going to stand for it. Yes.
Alfred!
Excuse me. Ow!
I beg your pardon.
What did he do?
I put my foot down.
My hand was on the floor.
You put your hand under his foot? What for?
Don't leave me.
Right. We haven't got much time.
What are you doing?
Dress rehearsal. Now, if you two wouldn't mind just moving back there. Perfect. Everyone ready? And for goodness sake, remember what we're doing. We always use the same costumes, more or less, and they always forget what they're supposed to be in. Alfred, stop picking your nose. When queens have to do it, they do it by a cerebral process, passed down in the blood. There's a lot of practice, but they always pick up wonderfully for the deaths. It brings out the poetry. There's nothing more unconvincing than an unconvincing death.
I'm sure.
Act 1 moves now. The king's brother and uncle to the prince. Gentlemen, it doesn't seem to be coming. You're not getting across. Act 2, positions.
Wasn't that the end?
Call that an ending? With practically everyone on his feet? My goodness, no! Events must play themselves out to their aesthetic, moral, and logical conclusions.
And what's that in this case?
It never varies. We aim for the point where everyone who is marked for death dies.
Who decides?
Besides, it is written. We're tragedians, you see. We follow directions. There is no choice involved. the bad, and unhappily, the good, unluckily. That is what tragedy means. Positions! Go! Here, having murdered his brother, who wooed the widow, the poisoner mounts his throne. Here, him and his queen give rein to their unbridled passion. Little does she know the man she holds in her arms is...
Here? Really? You can't do that. People want to be entertained.
Murder, seduction, and incest. What do you want? Jokes?
I want a good story with the beginning, middle, and end.
And you?
I prefer art to mirror life if it's all the same to you.
It's all the same to me, sir. All right, no need to indulge yourself. Next! Lucianus, nephew to the king, usurped by his uncle and shattered by his mother's incestuous marriage, loses his reason, staggering from the suicidal to the homicidal. Here, at last, he begs his mother to repent, in a scene of provocative ambiguity, to repent and recant. The king, haunted by fear, decides to dispatch his nephew to England and entrust this task to two smiling accomplices, friends, courtiers, spies, and giving them the letter to present to the English court, they disembark on a board ship. And they arrive and disembark, and present themselves before the English king. But where is the prince? Where indeed? A twist of fate and cunning has put into their hands a letter that seals their deaths. Traitors, voiced by their own petard, or victims of the gods? We shall never know.
Well, if it isn't... No, wait a minute. This takes me back to... Oh, when was it? I know you, don't I? For a moment I thought... No, I don't know you, do I?
Are you familiar with this play?
No.
The slaughterhouse. 8 corpses all told. It brings out the best in us.
You. What do you know about death?
It's what the actors do best. They must exploit whatever talent is given to them, and their talent is dying. They can die heroically, comically, ironically, slowly, suddenly, disgustingly, charmingly, or from a great height. My own talent is more general. I extract significance from melodrama, a significance which it does not in fact contain. But occasionally, from out of this matter, there escapes a thin beam of light, which, seen at the right angle, can crack the shell of mortality.
Is that all they can do? Die?
Oh, no, they kill beautifully. In fact, some of them kill even better than they die. The rest die better than they kill. They're a team.
Which ones are which?
There's not much in it.
Actors! The mechanics of cheap melodrama? That isn't death. You scream and choke and sink to your knees, but it doesn't bring death home to anyone. It doesn't catch them unawares and start the whisper in their skulls that says one day you are going to die. You die so many times. How can you expect them to believe in your death?
On the contrary, it's the only kind they do believe in. Audiences know what to expect, and that is all they're prepared to believe. Show!
No. We've got it all wrong. You can't act death. It's not gasps and blood and falling about. It's just a man failing to reappear. That's all. Now you see him, now you don't. That's the only thing that's real. Here 1 minute and gone the next, and never coming back. A disappearance, gathering weight as it goes on until, finally, it is heavy with death. Are you there?
Where? Is that you?
Yes.
How do you know?
Well, we're here, aren't we?
Are we? I can't see a thing.
You can still think, can't you?
I think so.
You can still talk.
What should I say?
Don't bother. You can feel, can't you?
Ah, there's a life in me yet.
What are you feeling?
A leg. Yes, it feels like my leg.
How does it feel?
Dead?
Dead?
I can't feel a thing.
Give it a pinch. Ah!
Sorry.
Well, that's cleared that up. We're a boat.
I'm aware of
And
that.
what do you expect? We act on scraps of information, sifting half-remembered directions that we can hardly separate from instinct.
But we've got nothing to go on. We're out on our own.
We're on our way to England. We're taking Hamlet there.
What for?
What for? Where have you been?
What? We won't know what to do when we get there.
We take him to the king.
He's expecting us?
No.
He won't know what we're playing at. What are we going to say?
We've got a letter. You remember the letter.
Do I?
Everything is explained in the letter. We count on that.
What was the last thing I said before we wandered off?
When was that?
I can't remember. We drift down time, clutching at straws. But what good's a brick to a drowning man?
Don't give up. We can't be long now.
We might as well be dead. Do you think death could possibly be on a boat?
No. Death is not. Death isn't. You take my meaning. Death is the ultimate negative. Not being. You can't not be on a boat.
I've frequently not been on boats.
No. What you've been is not on boats.
I wish I was dead. I could jump over the side. That would put a spoke in their wheel.
Unless they're counting on it.
I shall remain on board. That'll put a spoke in their wheel, all right. We don't question, we don't doubt, we perform. But a line must be drawn somewhere, and I'd like to put it on record that I have no confidence in England. Thank you. And even if it's true, it'll just be another shambles.
I don't see why.
You won't know what we're talking about. What are we going to say?
We say, Your Majesty, we have arrived.
And who are you?
We are Guildenstern and Rosencrantz.
Never heard of you.
We're delivering Hamlet.
Who's he?
You've heard of him.
Oh, I've heard of him all right, and I want nothing to do with it.
But
You march in here without so much as by your leave and expect me to take in every lunatic you try to pass off with a lot of unsubstantiated...
we've got a letter.
Well, this, I see. This seems to support your story, such as it is. It is an exact command from the King of Denmark for several different reasons, importing Denmark's health and England's too, that on the reading of this letter without delay, I should have Hamlet's head cut off.
It's going to be dark soon. The sun's going down.
Do you think so?
I was just making conversation. We're his friend.
How do you know?
From our young days brought up with him.
You've only got their word for it.
But that's what we depend on. I thought I heard that.
Aha! All in the same boat then! Everybody out! Where are we?
Traveling?
Of course, we haven't gotten there yet.
Are we all right for England?
Look all right to me. I don't think they're very particular in England. Alfred!
What are you doing here?
Traveling. Right then, blend into the background. Pleased to see us. We've come out very well so far.
And you?
In disfavor, our play offended the king.
It was quite a good play, nevertheless.
Naturally. We didn't get paid owing to circumstances ever so slightly beyond our control. And all the money we had, we lost betting on certainties. Life is a gamble at terrible odds. If it were a bet, you wouldn't take it. Did you know that any number doubled is even?
Is it?
We learn something every day to our cost. Oh, surprised then.
What?
Surprised to see us.
I knew it wasn't the end.
Practically everyone on his feet. What do you make of it so far?
We haven't got much to go on. Well, where has this got us?
He's the player.
His play offended the king,
Offended the king.
who orders his arrest.
Orders his arrest.
So he escapes to England.
On the boat to which he meets.
Guildenstern and Rosencrantz taking Hamlet.
On the boat to who also offended the king.
And Polonius.
Offended the king in a variety of ways.
To England. That seems to be it.
Incidents. All we get is incidents. Dear God. Is it too much to expect a little sustained action?
Up there! Up there!
thought quicker. Where's...
What do you mean? Where is he?
Gone.
He's not coming back?
Hardly.
He's dead then. He's dead as far as we're concerned.
Or we are as far as he is. Not too bad, is it?
But he can't. We're supposed to be. We've got a letter. We're going to England with a letter for the king.
Pirates could happen to anyone. Just deliver the letter. They'll send ambassadors from England to explain.
Can't you see? The pirates left us dry and home and drum. The pirates left us high and dry.
There.
Nothing will be resolved without him.
There.
We need Hamlet for our release.
There.
What are we supposed to do?
This.
We'll be all right. I suppose we just go on.
Go where?
To England.
I don't believe it. Ashore, a harbor, say, and we get off and we stop someone and say, "Where's the king?" And he says, "Oh, you follow that road there and take the first left," and I don't believe any of it.
It doesn't sound very plausible.
And even if we come face to face, what do we say?
We say we've arrived.
And who are you?
We are Guildenstern and Rosencrantz.
Which is which?
Well, I'm your...
What's it all about?
We have a letter.
A letter, yes, that's true. That's something. A letter. As England is Denmark's faithful tributary, as love between them like the palm might flourish, etc., that on the knowing of this contents, without delay of any kind, should those bearers, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, put to sudden death.
It's all over.
Where we went wrong was getting on a boat. We can move, of course, change direction, rattle about, but our movement is contained within a larger one, which carries us along as inexorably as the wind and the current.
They had it in for us, didn't they? Right from the beginning, who'd have thought that we were so important?
But why? Was it all for this? Who are we that so much should converge on our little deaths? Who are we?
You are Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. That's enough.
No, it is not enough to be told so little to such an end and still, finally, to be denied an explanation.
In our experience, most things end in death.
Your experience, actors. I'm talking about death, and you've never experienced that, and you cannot act it. You die 1,000 casual deaths with none of that intensity which squeezes out life, and no blood runs cold anywhere, because even as you die, you know that you'll come back in a different hat. But no one gets up after death. There is no applause, there is only silence and some second-hand clothes, and that's... If we have a destiny, then so had he, and if this is ours, then that was his. And if there are no explanations for us, then let there be none for him.
Oh, come. No flattery, gentlemen. It was merely competent. What do you think? You see, it is the kind they do believe in. It's what is expected.
Very good, very good. Took me in completely. Didn't he take you in completely? Encore!
Deaths for all ages and occasions. Deaths by suspension, convulsion, consumption, incision, execution, asphyxiation, and malnutrition. Climatic carnage by poison and by steel. Double deaths by duel. Show! There's an end to that. It's commonplace. Light goes with life, and in the winter of your years, the dark comes early.
No, not for us. Not like this. Dying is not romantic, and death is not a game which will soon be over. Death is not anything. Death is not... It's the absence of presence. Nothing more. It is the endless time of never coming back, a gap you can't see, and when the wind blows through it, it makes no sound.
That's it then, is it? We've done everything wrong. We didn't harm anyone, did we?
I can't remember.
All right then. I don't care. I've had enough. To tell you the truth, I'm relieved.
Our names shouted in a certain dawn, a message, a summons. There must have been a certain moment at the beginning when we could have said no, but somehow we missed it. Rosen? Gil? Well, we'll know better next time. Now you see me, now you.
Nicely done.
Oh, wow.